today. You're looking at a 0.25% jump for both the benchmarks, the Nifty and the Sensex. 19,381 currently for the Nifty. The Sensex at 155 points up in trade at 65,430 as we speak. Apart from this, let's also look at how the broader markets are doing at this point. In case there is any support coming in for that one, there is some weakness on the broader market space. The mid-cap 100 index is now down 0.5%. The small caps are trading lower by 0.4% as well. Now, when we talk about the other sectors, the sectoral indices, the Nifty Bank has slipped about 0.3% now. The autos are slowing down as well. Financial services are down in trade. FMCG down 0.5%, 0.6% now. The IT index is down by almost 1%. Remember, the IT sector will be in focus this week with the Q1 earnings kick-starting. The media stocks also seeing under pressure. You're also looking at PSU Bank, private banks also trading down in trade. But the only indices that are shining brighter today are metals that are up by 1%, oil and gas that are up by 0.6%, and the pharma space that is seeing some bounce come in too. Now, as far as the gainers and the losers of this hour are concerned, Reliance Industries topping the charts, 4.3% uptick at the 52-week high levels, 27.46. Tata Steel, JSW Steel, Bajaj Auto and HDFC Life all up by 1.5 to 2.5% each. On the downside, you have Titan, which is seeing some profit booking. HCL Technologies, Power Grid, BPCL and Bajaj Finance down in trade. But let's welcome our guest on the show. Mr. Vineet Bolinchkar joins in from Ventura Securities, Director Research. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Well, your thoughts on the overall market and the movement that we are seeing today. Most of the sectors under pressure, but the commodities, metals, oil and gas, they are taking, some of the bright spots. Your own sense?
Sakshi, I didn't hear your question. Can you repeat, please? There was a slight
I just wanted
disturbance.
to ask you, what's your outlook on the markets? We've come back, bouncing back right after a day's gap, and the markets look like they are defying some kind of gravitational pull that's being seen across the markets. What's the kind of strategy that you're working on and advising your investors?
Seen a lot of the market-wise trend, and until the Fed announcement doesn't come in, we will trend in the same fashion. Having said that, I believe certain uh, pockets will do well. Metals are expected to do well because China is expected to start its pump priming of economy, and there the CPI inflation is close to zero. And defensives like pharma, which have not been in the news, uh, IT to a certain extent because we have the results, but the results are not going to be very encouraging. And all these factors, I believe, could take the markets slightly higher.
Right. Vineet, the stock of the day clearly on the Nifty at least is Reliance Industries. The shares are up over 4% today. They've hit 52-week high levels. Now, this is as a reaction as the company has announced its fixing of the record date for the demerger of the financial services arm. Now, as part of the plan, the Reliance Industries shareholders will get one share of Jio Financial for every one share that they hold of Reliance Industries. I wanted to ask you, what are you making of this Jio Financial Services business? How will it really play out, and what kind of value unlocking can it really lead to for the Reliance Industries shareholders?
So I believe that there will be concentrated approach to the geo financial business because it is no more part of the Reliance entire conglomerate. And being, listed separately, I think it will provide another stock in the financial services to the investors at large who have not been holders of Reliance. And that, to my mind, is expected to drive the outperformance of the stock. We expect the stock to do very well and, consolidate gains as it goes ahead.
Right, you did say that the stock is expected to do well. Now, remember, the stock is already up about 24% from its lowest level this year. That was hit on March 24th of around 2200 and thereabout. And from that time, a 24% surge already. How much more upside do you see on the Reliance Industries stock?
See, look at it this way. We've seen dearth of information coming from the Reliance tables on any corporate action. And with this is the first where Geo Financial Services is being, spawned out into a new baby. We will see multiple new disclosures coming in. So, Reliance Retail is there. The Jio IPO can come in. And we could also see a lot of news flow on the green energy side. So I believe that the corporate actions will pick up frequency now, and that is expected to keep the stock firm and seek higher levels.
So is it still a buy at 27.48 currently? It's up by 4.5% for all those investors who've missed this last 3-4 months odd rally from 2200 to 2750. Do you think there is enough for investors to celebrate going forward, and one can go ahead and buy the stock at these levels?
And it's up today 4%. I would look for 1% and it could get to around 3,000, 3,100 levels.
3000, 3100 levels. By when do you see Reliance Industries achieving these kind of levels?
So it could take a little more time than we expect, but difficult to put a finger on that. But I definitely
Sure.
think that it could happen uh, by March itself.
Okay. Also, in other news, Reliance Retail has now announced reduction in the share capital and a payout at 1362 rupees per share. Now, what this has done is a social media, buzz is now started that in the unlisted space, all those investors who were trading on Reliance Retail, they are looking at a huge loss of 60% odd. Some of the investors had already bought this stock at 3400 in the unlisted, in the grey market that is. So, your sense of, how should one really read this message, and what does, as a larger message to the investors, what would this have?
You can't disconnect fundamentals from price action far too much. All those who got into the momentum that, the that you can buy Reliance at any price, it's just not true. Just because the stock is going up doesn't mean that in the unlisted space that, it'll keep going higher. You have to do the analysis of the balance sheet. You need to look at whether the business is profit making or not. And this is to investors who invest in the private space that, fundamentals and price performance, too much of a deviation is definitely a no-no, and it's a price risk. And only those players who understand the uh, private market should actually go and invest in that.
Okay. What is your own expectation from Reliance Industries Q1 earnings this time around?
I don't recall it off the mind, but I think it will be mostly in line with what the market is expecting.
Okay. Many thanks then, Vineet, for being with us on the show and discussing the insights on Reliance Industries and helping our viewers understand what exactly should be the strategy that one should adopt amid all this news flow right here. We'll get back to the markets again and see which are the pockets that are moving in trade. 19,380 up by 47, 48 odd points. Sensex is also up by 157 points currently, 0.25% of a jump coming in for both the major indices. Of course, the larger market is looking at some pressure building up, but there are a few pockets like heavyweight counters like Reliance Industries, metal counters that are working its way up, and also the oil and gas counters supporting the momentum. Now, what is in store for the markets in the last 2.5 hours of trade is continuously what we will continue to watch out for. So do stay tuned with us on to Business Today TV to catch all the market momentum.
Hello everyone, you've tuned into Business Today TV and I'm Akanksha. Today we are joined by Mr. Rajesh Shukla and we are joined by him while the price report on the rise of Indians middle class has released. Thank you so much for talking with us today,